All right, now it's going, and we have to come up with intro. I tried to record a song, but I gave up immediately. Not immediately. After about 30 minutes, because my setup is so broken.
Yeah.
That I can't do anything with it, and hopefully it will be fixed by next week. But you do something.
The song?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is our intro.
Here we go. Yeah. This is Tina and Frank going in live on the podcast. Yeah, we do it so we last. We don't know, I don't last long, very long with my lady. She likes it when I call her daddy. Wait, no, reverse of that. I like it when she call me daddy.
And give him something soulful for the end here.
Oh yeah, listening to the podcast live. I think we nailed that.
That was good. You didn't hear it.
No, I did not.
You're just listening to
You having
It was a wonderful performance.
Yeah.
If I may say so.
No.
I think
mean,
you two
whatever.
should introduce yourselves since this is supposedly the premiere episode.
Well, that's
We'll
when
see if this one even gets. This is episode either number 2 or 0.
Yes, because this week
Or 1.
it was supposed to be a kind of like another test episode, but with the segments in.
Yeah.
But my thing is broken,
Let's rock.
so
let's
I can't get the
do this.
segments in.
Happens
Yeah, so
to
we
a
got
lot
to
of
just
us.
do.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
It.
And that's stuff like that, but with drums and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff in there. It'll be much better than
Can
that.
we get some cymbals?
We'll have cymbals in there
Thank
every now and
goodness.
again.
A
It was
sax?
I actually could get sax
Let's
in
get
there if you
sax.
wanted.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask a friend to do it, though. Off the cuff. Our next segment. Off the cuff.
All right. What do we got?
What do we got? I don't think we did any real preparation.
I do
Oh.
like a little.
All right, Trace,
did you watch
he's
the?
keeping us on track.
Did you watch the
Thank
Mike
you.
Tyson
Thank you.
Jake Paul fight?
I sat through the entire thing.
As did I.
Yeah. I only had Netflix crash one time.
I didn't have it crash at all.
Well, it didn't crash, but it froze.
I had it freeze once.
And it froze to the point where we had to reset it. You know what I mean?
It was less than a minute for us.
Yeah. Ours froze, and it was in the middle of Tyson's walkout. So we only let it go for 45 seconds because that was the whole point.
Yeah. You were hoping to see some booty again.
That was probably my favorite part of the whole stream.
Yeah, I
Did you
think it
catch
was-
that?
Oh, of course I caught it.
Oh my gosh.
He
it
was being
incredible.
interviewed by his son. Gave him a
By
nice
his
kiss on
son.
the cheek.
Kiss on the cheek.
Turn around.
This whole moment, it was very sweet.
and there's
you know
a
what I
different
mean?
kind of cheeks.
And then here's the thing too. I'm sure is that online? Could we watch that real quick? Just that little clip. Mike Tyson's ass at the at the fight. Yeah, okay. Bare butt, shows his booty.
Any
we
one
want
of those,
something
I think,
short.
is gonna
We
do.
don't want that whole I guess the interview is fine because we could skip.
How
although-
long is this? Yeah, 13
Okay,
seconds is
13
perfect.
seconds is perfect.
Here we go.
Oh, we won't have audio for these, huh?
Gives his son
So
a kiss
I'm-
on the cheek.
You're my son.
And there
Yeah.
it is.
Now, wait. Go back about, so pause. So here's the interesting aspect of it to me.
Yeah.
Everybody that's actually in this room
Knows.
knows, right?
Yes.
Now, the way they're shooting it, presumably, because he's not a ringside girl, right?
Yeah.
Presumably, they don't want to show his ass live streamed to the world.
Yeah.
Presumably.
And these guys
But
are acting.
If you'll notice the camera work here,
Let's see it.
the guy almost goes down for a second. You know what I mean? It
Yes.
almost is on purpose.
Yes. I think there was. I mean, I guess I don't know. My guess is he had to have cleared it with Netflix, but maybe not because it is a live situation.
Well, that was the most entertaining
There
stuff.
it is, right there. Go full screen and zoom in, please.
Don't zoom in, but which I think you actually can on YouTube just by going like that. You know about this? I'm
You got
pretty
touch-
sure you can.
You got a touchscreen
Oh,
over
you
there?
know what? That was just on the phone. Never mind. That's just on. That was when I was watching it on my phone late at night.
A little Tyson booty action.
Little Tyson booty. Please get it off the screen. I can't take it anymore. And then I love that guy who was talking to the. It's like, I don't know. It's such a severe environment.
Yeah.
But how do you not, like... I mean, I guess I wouldn't point it out. You know what I mean?
He's trying to add some levity to the situation.
I hope so.
So the actual fight. So
No,
number one,
honestly, that's really all I had to say about it.
I got some thoughts.
Okay.
Jake Paul walks in. He doesn't walk in. You saw this. He is in the back of what I can only presume is a couple $1 million car.
The most expensive, ugliest car I've ever seen.
Disgusting.
It was so ugly.
But
But
for
he's
some
playing a
reason
villain.
he has a bird in the back.
Oh, yeah, the pigeon.
Yeah, was it a pigeon?
You don't know about this?
No.
The lore?
I don't know about the lore.
Well, actually, as somebody who doesn't know about the lore, then I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Other than the fact that he had a bird in the
You
back.
were just like, what the hell?
I didn't know the lore.
So there's... Mike Tyson famously loved pigeons.
Oh.
Actually, he loved pigeons so much that somebody made a spin-off, not a spin-off, a cartoon about Mike Tyson and his pigeons, which was sort of a parody of, it was like a parody of Scooby-Doo, kind of. Yeah, Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Interesting.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good show. Norm Macdonald's on it.
Really?
He plays a pigeon. He's quite good on it.
Where is this streaming?
I don't know. Where is it streaming?
Adult Swim, which is what is that? Is that HBO then? Adult Swim or it's FX? Let's see. Oh, Prime Video. All right, so
That would,
I have my marching orders tonight.
that would basically be, if you didn't see the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, my advice to you would be only watch Mike Tyson Mysteries,
Yeah, I think I can get
because
behind that.
it's all right. It's pretty funny, and I love that old Hanna-Barbera style, or Barbara. Could you look up if it's no.
No,
We're relying
let's
on
hit
this too much. And that's the cool thing. They actually got Mike Tyson to voice it.
Fight a fight is on its way. Excuse me, man. Fight a fight. Fight a fight.
So it's a pretty good show.
It seems that way.
It's pretty funny. I haven't actually watched the whole show, but I've watched episodes kind of sporadically.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed them.
What is your favorite show?
That's such a good question.
Boardwalk Empire.
Kind of sounded sexual. You know, Boardwalk Empire, like I've kind of come around to the other side on it.
So there's two groups who like, and this is a callback from
If
episode
you'll have seen last week's that did not air.
Medea. There's two groups who like Medea.
I honestly think maybe we should air that one too,
I
just
don't
because
think there's
why
anything
not?
wrong with it.
There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
whatever.
it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're shaking your head yes.
Nodding.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if you prepared some musical cues, I would edit those in, and then pretty much would be a complete episode.
Yeah. You got
That's
nothing from the last half?
He didn't send me anything from the last
okay.
half.
You
he
got
only
no-
sent me
I didn't?
audio prior to the break. So that's all I edited. I have footage of everything after that,
Yeah.
including the break that we took.
Well,
I
we
didn't
could do
stop
the last
recording.
half. But
Oh, no.
It was kind of
It was
weird.
It was hit and miss, but it was when
There
we
was some
discussed.
good stuff in there, though.
It was when we discussed what we were going to be doing. It's when we came up with the 10 new
Right,
questions.
and that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
maybe if it was a little more heavily edited,
Yeah, of course.
we could do that.
Favorite show, Frank?
Well, you got me off on Boardwalk Empire, but
Hit some Boardwalk. Talk
I'll
about
talk
why
about
you're
a
on the
little
other
Boardwalk.
side.
you know, I actually talked about Boardwalk on a podcast many moons ago. But I really loved that show. I really liked it because I was like young enough that the idea of like people in the roaring 20s or whatever or 30s or whenever it's set during Prohibition.
Yeah.
The 30s.
I think it's
I don't know.
20s, 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 30s. Maybe.
Somewhere around there. Everybody was
Google
talking
one.
like this, see? So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I really liked Steve Buscemi on that show because he was so kind of unexpected as like a mob boss character.
20s and early 30s.
That it kind of, I don't know, I liked it. But it was like a novelty thing. Like I hadn't seen a show where it's like this kind of setting, you know? Because if you watch stuff that they actually made in the 1920s and 30s, it's not that there's no underlying blue stuff or whatever in there, but it's very dressed up and very clean, you know, and there's no, it's like almost like childlike escapism, you know what I mean? And then to think, oh, these are real people back then. So they said fuck and they had sex and they killed each other and stuff like that. It was really interesting to me. And I also just love that aesthetic from that kind of time, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of, I guess you could just wrap it up with saying it's pretty gratuitous. And sometimes the shock value is kind of what you want to watch it for.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't have good staying power. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Okay,
'Cause
Boardwalk Empire versus
By
The
nature
Sopranos.
by nature of shock power
Who wins?
or shock
Value.
value,
Yeah.
the next time you see it, you know what I'm saying?
It loses its
Yeah,
shock.
exactly. Right. There's not much more to chew on under the surface. And it's pretty ideological. And then I saw Game of Thrones, and other than the ending of Game of Thrones, it kind of like made me realize like, oh, so there's a good show that does this kind of thing about knights or whatever. And then they saw that was working, that format was working, and so they tried to do that just for a different setting.
Yeah.
You know. Although the Game of Thrones ending is insane. That's been covered though.
I haven't seen one episode of Game of Thrones.
I would say it's a pretty good show, but it's kind of one of those ones where it's like, if you don't have a natural interest in it in any way, I don't know. I mean, I didn't. I kind of watched it just because I was like, all right. I like watching things that I know I won't like. And that is one show that I was actually like, oh, this is actually really good.
Okay.
But it takes a long time to get into. And,
Favorite show, Frank? Come on.
well, I definitely take The Sopranos over Boardwalk Empire.
Okay,
Sopranos is an incredible show.
Never seen an episode.
You've never seen any of The Sopranos?
No, it's
And
on
look,
my watch list.
This is my least favorite kind of guy to be. Is what, you haven't seen Princess Bride or whatever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Princess
that
Bride. I think you're thinking of, or no, Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Diaries of, what's the Anne Hathaway
you
one?
haven't seen Anne Hathaway in Diaries of a Princess Bitch?
Princess Diaries. I think Princess Diaries.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
daughter. You should know.
She doesn't watch Princess Diaries. There it is.
Yeah, you better not let this shit under your home,
No,
under your
of
roof.
course not. Of course not. Maya loves Princess Diaries.
Well, she's a lady.
Yeah.
And she grew up. This hit her at a time, you know, it's literally designed by committee to hit people that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
All right, favorite show.
like, it's kind of like it would be like criticizing a 12-year-old for not liking the Avengers or something. You know? Favorite show.
You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
It's gonna
What is
make
it? What's
me
the
look
first
like
one?
such a
Nobody cares.
Louis.
Okay.
Louis on FX.
Haven't
That's my
seen an
favorite
episode.
show. It's the most innovative,
Yeah.
stylistic.
You have to pay for that, right? I haven't seen it. I've heard nothing but good things.
I have bought it. You could come watch it. That'd be a treat.
Could you just send me the information so I can log in
Can't
at
do
my
that
own
because
house?
then you could log into everything I have
So it's
one by one.
basically what you're telling everybody is you have the same
No, I'm saying
password
well,
and
yeah, you would think that,
email.
but actually, it's more because every nowadays, say you have 5 different emails, You have to have a master email because to sign into any of them, you have to verify it from your main email. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
not that you actually would do anything, because why would you do anything? But if your computer, I just don't want to give it to you.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll pay for it. I mean, I'm down $19 tonight, but I will. I'll find a way to make
It's
it
a
work.
great show.
I've heard nothing but good.
Do you want to watch any of it? This podcast is just going to be us watching TV.
I'll watch whatever.
I'm a father, all right? That's what matters to me. I have 2 little girls. And I'm raising them, okay? That's who I am. I'm a real man. That's what I do. What are you? Who are you? What's your contribution? You're cute and you got a flat stomach and you're young. Why am I trying to impress you? Why don't you tell me about your goddamn life and try to impress me? Why aren't you nervous to be with me?
Isn't that great?
That was unbelievable.
That's the first episode.
That's very funny.
I will say, as it gets into the last 2 seasons, it's not really the same kind of thing. Because what's so cool about the show is the way he made it was just from FX. He did a deal with them because he has his own production company.
Yeah.
And has been making short films since
What
he
is
was like
this,
20 or
Trace?
something.
Well, I've been looking at what is this, June of 2020 again or something?
Both of you seem to be very distracted by the television.
No.
So I was just putting on a bland image so you would hopefully look at it less. In particular, Frank.
I can't help myself with screens.
Love a good screen.
I really can't do it. Like last episode, I'm just looking at this the whole time.
Yeah.
Everything's
It's
fine. There's nothing to be gleaned from looking at it. It's just not real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's do tell me about your week. Tell me about your week.
Oh, what even happened this week?
As far as music goes, personal goes, marriage goes.
Really nothing
A
happened.
lot of good stuff. Nice.
Really nothing happened.
All right.
It's just the same thing every day.
Okay.
I don't want to like talk about just my normal life.
Okay.
Unless something actually really interesting
Yeah.
happens.
Well, that's what I was hoping for.
Did you have anything this week? How was your week?
Fine. I did 2 open mics. Both of them didn't go very well. Two of my worst, actually.
Nice.
Tuesday after the open mic, I was so angry I went into my car and I threw my notebook at the window and started smashing the steering wheel. I had a joke that I was very excited about and nobody got it. I tried it both of the nights. Nobody got it. I don't know if you guys will get it. Basically, the joke is, you know the Harlem Globetrotters?
Uh-huh.
So apparently the Harlem Globetrotters have added a few women to the team, and it's about time. I, for one, am really looking forward to the high-flying layups that these ladies are going to provide to the team. That's the joke. Do you get it?
Well, they're not as good at basketball. Did
Women
they do that?
No, it wasn't quite that
No,
bad.
it's just
After about 5 to 10 seconds, people started laughing because they got it. But I
don't think there's that much to really get, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I have found that, like, after a comedian makes a bad joke, they're like, okay, that one went over your heads. And you're like, no, we all got it. It was just a bad joke.
But you
So maybe it was just a bad joke.
I think this early on into stand-up, the more, like, not the more. That's not right, but like being a little delusional is good. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Sure.
Like having confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Because
think it
you
was
are
bad.
very funny. Naturally, you're a very funny guy.
Yeah, I mean, the joke. Let me explain it because it went over your head.
Okay. Let me
Uh,
see what I missed.
women can't dunk. And the
Yeah.
Harlem Globetrotters' whole thing is like big dunks, alley oops, you know.
It's like the Looney Tunes movie, but
Yes.
real life.
And so it's like, thank goodness they added some women to the team because, you know, there's just been too much athleticism on the squad. That's what I said after, because I could tell people didn't get it. Either that or they didn't like it. After I realized it was silent, I said, that's what I mean, basically what I just said. Just too much athleticism on the squad. Let some ladies have a turn.
Yeah.
And I got a little chuckle, but I mean, it was a bad one. And so I tried it again the next night because I thought they just didn't get it. And then I realized it might just be a bad joke.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do
Well,
it
but
again.
that's the thing about them. You have to float them to an audience
Yeah,
to know
here they are,
if they have any kind of
the
value.
Globies. So we have 3 athletic men, 6 athletic
When are
men.
they going to let some white guys on
And
the
then
team?
we got a little TNT, a little torch. There's one white guy.
Could you
there
look
he is.
up Dazzle, huh?
Yeah, and
What the
Ace.
fuck is up with these names? Are these pseudonyms?
Yeah, they're just for
Okay, good.
the.
So I was like, what? Like, apparently there's a kind of a conspiracy about that sort of thing.
What thing?
About, like, people... Because, you know, you have, like, a football dad that's super into football.
Mm-hmm.
And the secret hope is always going to make the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, really put their kids through it when it comes to football. It's like God or, like, something like that. You know, like, they take it that seriously.
Yeah.
And so there's a theory that it's kind of like people actually name their kids good sports names or names that kind
Interesting.
of affiliate with it, which I can kind of see. Like if you're the kind of dude that has a son and goes, I didn't quite make the cut, but, you know,
Yeah.
6'5".
I would say that's why you have kids. Live your dreams through them.
Yeah.
That's what I would always.
I mean, that's the immigrant idea.
yeah.
But then that's the funny thing about them. Is
Go
they
back
never-
to the roster there.
They never
You're
want the kid
telling
to-
me they have more women on this professional basketball team than white men?
Could we look up? There was a cool name earlier. A lady,
No,
one
go
of the
up, go up.
ladies.
Keep going.
Go
it was
up,
one
up,
of the.
up, up, up. It was near the top.
Oh, that is not a regular size, man.
That can't be just
no,
one
down.
guy on that
down.
team, right?
He's the only short
Really?
person.
Is he like
There's
the
two?
professor?
There's TNT and
He's like the
Torch.
professor, but instead of the ball, he just walks under their legs. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing.
There's Ace, TNT, Torch. I think
where
this
was
is
she?
When
This
you,
is too far.
No, that was the beginning.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe down then. I think it was too far. You know what? Whatever. Just
Turbo.
whoever the next lady is.
The show.
Okay. Could you?
No, go back up. Go back up. Go back up. It was.
It needs to
one
be
of
somebody
these.
prominent enough on the team.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be somebody 4 scrolls down. You have Ace, TNT,
Is this all
Torch.
just all shit, Trace? You hate this? Okay. Could we look up Torch? Or no, TNT. That's cooler. Could we look up TNT Lister's highlights?
Yes.
Let's see if your joke matches up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do the joke again.
Highlights.
Hilly, I
No, that's cool.
mean, history in 2001 should be the first woman on the team. Is 2011 they were okay. Well, so,
So
it's
is
an
there
old,
no
It's
highlights?
an old joke.
Maybe highlight reel.
Here we go. Okay, so number 1, that's not a woman.
This is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the advertisement, like justifying the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to see her in action.
Because it's like everybody is familiar with this whole thing.
TNT Lister.
And I'm not saying she's not great at basketball. I'm shit at basketball. You know what I mean? She could definitely
What is
beat me.
HGT? What are we hiring you for?
Harlem Globetrotters?
It doesn't need
Fair
to be
enough.
in the Harlem Globetrotters. Really, just any footage of her playing.
Here we go.
at
That
all.
top one seemed like it. TNT Hoop Squad.
No,
No,
that's
no,
not it.
That's not it.
Okay, so this actually kind of makes my point, though. Either way,
It makes my joke better. Does
yeah,
it make
that
my
there
joke-
there are actually no highlights.
Best crossover. Oh, here we go. TNT Ankle Breaker.
Okay.
I'm granted the people on the other team are paid actors, but it's fine.
Oh,
Just see if
really?
yeah, they haven't lost.
Ever?
They lost one game in the history.
What's the point of watching it?
Because it's like actually like high flying action,
Wow.
and then they added these women who were doing
Wow.
cartwheels. Oh, and then a layup. Very nice, very nice. Thank goodness.
So I guess I didn't get it
Yeah.
because I thought Harlem Globetrotters was kind of like the retirement league.
No.
Do you still actually play?
It's like WWE for basketball.
Yeah. Maybe if you say that.
I don't know. I'm not doing the joke again. It
You
was
know,
just not a good joke. It
you
was
know,
a swing and a miss.
Here's my. I'm gonna do a quick impression of you. I've never seen you actually do stand up in person,
Okay.
but on the Harlem Globetrotters, the WWE of basketball, they added 2 women to the team.
Yeah.
That's going to be some high flying action, And get this. They're wearing normal clothes, normal basketball clothes. What's the point?
I like that.
I was excited, and then,
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, even Shaquille O'Neal had his day in the sun with those shorts. You know what I
look,
mean?
the thing is, I'm just not gonna do the joke again.
No,
I've tried
it's
it
not
twice.
worth it.
I had a couple pretty much all my set was new, and pretty much none of it worked. I had one joke that kind of worked. It was, which I don't know if you want to get into. I don't know.
That's okay, as long as it's not too
No, it's not long.
boring or whatever.
Hopefully not. It was. I started watching.
hard to tell.
Love on the Spectrum, the UK version,
Mm-hmm.
and look, I like it. I am finding it a little bit hard to follow. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the people with autism and just the regular British people.
That's good.
Not bad.
I think
It
it
got
should
a
be
good-
worded a little different.
Maybe
But
I'm
it's
not
good.
sure how I actually worded it. That was just
I like
the idea, but people seem to like it.
They do kind of act, like a buttoned up.
Yeah.
Like if what's that guy, the British guy that's like has the America show? He's always telling us how bad we are.
James
Something
James.
Oliver.
No. Well, there's
Oliver.
yeah.
I think it's Oliver.
Well,
Something Oliver. James Oliver.
no.
Are you talking about Jamie Oliver, the American chef?
No.
That's what the name
Are you-
is that you're.
talking about this guy.
Oh, he was in.
always going
Okay, you're
John
thinking
Oliver.
John Oliver.
Community.
Yeah, he's
John
in Community.
Oliver.
John
yeah, that's what I was
Like
gonna
if John Oliver didn't act like a complete fucking spaz,
Mm-hmm.
like looking at that guy, I would not be able to go neurodivergent
Mm-hmm.
or normal.
No. Yeah, most British. I have a lot of jokes about making fun of British people, mainly because my mom is British. It just
Comes
seems-
from
it
a
seems
place
easy.
of knowing,
Yeah,
a place of love.
yeah. Well,
The Brits are good. You don't like the Brits?
Brits are fine. Brits are fine.
I think the Brits have gotten a lot of bad press, maybe.
Worst thing the British did in history. British Empire was much worse than you realize. I thought that.
Oh, that's another thing. Herstory.
Oh yes, what was that?
I mean,
Oh, that was the
In the Mike Tyson fight.
Oh
but it's just one of those things where it's like, is that really
no, it's stupid.
doing anything?
It's-
Like, does that fix anything?
No, it doesn't. He didn't get the reaction he wanted the very first time he said it. So he said it 5 more times, hoping to get the
And that was the other
Herstory.
thing, because, I mean, I would say they were the best fight.
Yeah,
they were
them
the most
are the ones
interesting fight.
before, but
Serrano,
yeah, the
and-
guy with
and
the gay pants.
the
Moreno
cheating
or
Irish
something.
lady or whatever,
Oh, Katie Taylor,
something like that. Yeah,
something.
But-
she lost.
she should have.
She definitely lost.
Yeah, But
I
it's
mean,
okay.
It's just white privilege. I've always said this.
Well, that's the other thing is like, you know, maybe that's the
Yeah,
thinking.
Katie
is like-
Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and then
that's the other thing is like, isn't Serrano like a fucking pepper? Like, I don't think that's a real name. Is that a real name?
Katie Taylor defeated.
I mean,
Amanda
would it
Serrano, and then
raise an eyebrow if her name was Amanda Jalapeno? You know what I mean?
maybe. There she is. She looks like she should be on the Harlem Globetrotters.
She does actually look like. Yeah, actually, that would be cool. that would make it entertaining if you had women on the Harlem Globetrotters, but because they're women, they get to punch people in the face.
I do think that would be good.
That would spice it up.
Yeah, that would spice it up. Okay, we got some. Do we want to hit a segment? Or we want to keep getting after it.
Do we have any segments?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have the questions. But
Yeah, you guys could answer the 10 questions that we thought of in the last episode.
That's true. We
'cause
didn't
I don't think
answer
you,
those.
I don't think you answered most of them. You
we answered the
some
first
of them,
one.
like yeah.
Well, I thought that was going to be the last one.
Sure.
Oh,
Make that on the last
okay.
one.
You didn't say that. I
Well,
can make that one the
You
last
should have
one.
known.
You're
check
right.
the footage
I'm sorry.
because I think I did say that was the
I
last
spent hours combing over the footage. I don't know what this is.
one. Not the second
but-
half. I didn't send you the audio.
Well, that's fair, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You
so
probably
shut
are.
up.
Would you edit it in if you're wrong?
If you send me the footage, I can edit it.
Yeah.
I can't edit
Well,
it. if you
I
don't
forgot to
send
send it. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
How do you escape? Is the first-
We also could take a 5 because we are at about 40 minutes, maybe 35 minutes of audio recording would be my guess.
38 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh, right in between 35 and 40. That's pretty good. Yeah. How long do we want this to be?
Well, so I was thinking with audio implemented segments
Yeah.
that it would be an hour would be the
Just an
formal
hour?
show.
Okay.
And then if we're having a good time, people just want to just talk and hang out, just let it go until it
Okay.
ends. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
That's fine. Yeah, I was thinking 1.5, but Trace says that.
We could also do an hour as the formal show, and if you guys are serious about doing the Patreon thing, have the extended chunk of the episode go on Patreon. Not the extended cut, because you still want people to watch the YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
But just the stuff that didn't make it into the YouTube.
I feel
Well,
like
I
you
don't-
would have to do almost an entire
For
another
Patreon
episode.
to make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
If
But
people
the
are paying for
Patreon
it.
thing is like so
Yeah.
kind of far down
Far
the
in the
road
future.
from where we're at.
Yeah.
But I do kind of want to get extra stuff because I think people that are into it and that do like it, it would be cool to be able to see the whole
Yeah.
progression.
Maybe the Patreon is less structured. It's more of conversation, less segment. I mean, you can't do the same segments. People that would subscribe to a Patreon have already listened and are a fan of the regular show. So if you were to do the same show again, that's not worth their money.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something we can obviously figure out in the future. But I feel like it would be maybe more a little bit more loose, and just
Right. Could say anything.
just more
and-
us.
Well, because yeah, the idea with that is that then too you can get dirtier or just whatever, you know, and on account of nature that you would know that like say 5% of the people that would otherwise see what was recorded will see it. And that there are people that are actually interested in it as
Yeah.
opposed to just randomly came upon it.
And we're back to Mike Tyson. Yes, get some images going.
It's the Patreon exclusive. It's just the extended cut.
Beautiful. That fight was ridiculous. I mean, Mike Tyson looked like he looked like he had no balance.
Yeah,
It
it was
was-
sad. It was honestly really sad.
Yeah, I mean, sad until you realize he's making $20 million.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like because who knows, you know, like athletes more than almost anybody, like even more than like pop stars are kind of infamous for making incredible amounts of money and then blowing it on like fucking watches and stupid jackets.
That's
and
probably why he had to do this fight.
McLarens or whatever. But
It just wasn't it wasn't entertaining.
it was
at
a
all.
bad fight. That was the thing, was it was kind of like, I mean, if you took a step back from the hype, obviously it was going to be a shitty fight.
Yeah, you
You
kinda
know
knew
what I
that.
mean?
Anybody who thought that Mike Tyson was going to win, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I was really, that was the thing though, is that you go,
I mean, you were hoping.
well, maybe in the second round or something,
Yeah.
he gets kind of lucky or ferocious.
He's 60
and-
years old.
yeah, it's like, I mean, he almost died a few months before the fight and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was sad too to see like Jake Paul, like does a feint or something, and then you see Tyson
He's like,
a second after
yeah,
like, react.
seizing
and
up.
It was just it was too bad. And I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't like Mike Tyson? I would argue he's the world's favorite ever. No, I don't think he did the. He probably didn't. I'm sure he. Can
Hold
get
on, I'm
pussy.
trying to think of a more loved. Can I have a sec?
Because here's the thing, right?
Potentially Cosby.
No. Because here's the thing, you have to look at it like this.
Search up who's the most loved.
No. There's plenty of and entertainment that people still really love, but it's because you don't know. It hasn't been revealed
Yeah.
that they're. You know what I mean?
You don't want that. Yeah.
I think Tyson is the only guy to have legally in court, it's quote unquote proven
Mm-hmm.
that he somebody, and everybody still loves him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are out on Cosby. People are pretty much out on Cosby.
I think the only people
So it
that are
might be
still
Tyson.
like down with Cosby are just like old ladies that are tuned out and don't
Yeah.
care. You know what I mean?
Here's the question. Speaking of, and I don't know how many times we're allowed to say that word without getting taken off. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
No.
Conspiracy theorist.
I mean, is it even really though?
No, it's not.
You have to think about how much, because
Well, the fact that whoever did it, the
Bill
government
Clinton
got away
spoke
with
at
this.
Bill Clinton
Yeah.
spoke at the DNC thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if all the Epstein information gets out, you really think Clinton's not going down?
He's going down.
So there's so
He
much
went down. That's the problem.
money.
He's gonna go double
There's
down.
there's so much money and vested interest, and even aside from money, just raw power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what does a bunch of money really get you? Power.
Yeah, that is the most like agreed upon conspiracy by everybody. It's weird that like whomever did it, got away with it. How is
That's not crazy.
it's blatantly obvious,
Yeah.
and we're just like nobody cares.
But it's like, it's almost like you're looking at it as like too much of an isolated incident.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because this is a guy that apparently his whole function as like a public figure was networking with as many
yeah.
huge influential people as possible. So like,
Well, he's
you
just
know,
a professional blackmailer.
You
Or
can-
he was intelligence. I think that's kind of what seemed like it came out and
right.
said.
And you know, I get into conspiratorial stuff because I think like one, I think it's arrogant to say what is and isn't possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, there's, you know, you can sort of use the what's more likely, you know, but I think people, you know, you would generally just rather believe in it because then there's no crisis. Like I was having dinner with some family members a couple weeks ago before Trump was elected, and that was part of the thing where I'm bringing up different stuff kind of in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, getting sort of poo-pooed because it's like, oh, right, sure, you know what's going on, you know, or whatever, and fair enough. But that's the thing is like, no, I would prefer to believe in the institutions.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you
that's-
want to think that the people that are in charge
would be honest.
Yes.
And that they would
Absolutely.
play by the rules. But that's the thing is everybody is just other. It's just another person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Well, they're not even people to these people. And once you get to a certain level, like you've spent 30 years of your entire life surrounded by just million and billionaires,
right.
and normal people aren't even people
No.
anymore.
In fact, I mean, if you like were really segregated by privilege that much
Mm-hmm.
to regular people, where you didn't know anybody that like didn't own a boat or something, you know, or couldn't have one, then it is like, I don't know. It's probably the same way we feel about people starving in Africa or whatever.
Yeah, you're just so far removed from it. That's like,
It doesn't affect you at all.
no. I mean,
And-
you feel bad about it, but you're not doing
Right.
anything.
And then you go, well, I'm just a person. They're just people. So, you know, obviously, like nobody would want to be that wealthy. It would be like internally you'd want to like kill yourself if you really thought like, I don't deserve this on some level.
Yeah.
And at a certain level of accumulation, there has to be almost dirty tactics involved. So you don't really deserve it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you, I mean, how could you enjoy these like incredible privileges and at the same time be like, have like a genuine sense of feeling for your fellow man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just insane that the people who are in charge of us did that pretty clearly. And just nothing happens. I mean, you know about it. So the cameras they just happened to be shut down for like the hour.
Yeah.
And the prison guard was on a break. And he did have a cellmate. The cellmate was moved out of his cell for like 2 hours. That's it. Just went somewhere else and then was brought back.
Also, why is this guy going to kill himself?
Yeah, no, he has
Because he's ruined,
information
because
on...
he's caught?
No,
is that why?
No,
'Cause
he
he's
has the
got
biggest
all these
bargaining
ties.
tool of all time.
He's got all these ties,
Yeah.
right? So then it doesn't make any sense for him to kill himself on like he's going to spend his golden years in jail and he's not going to get any kind of special privileges or have anything happen. So what's the other excuse is, oh, now everybody knows and I can't take the guilt?
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy that was children.
Yeah, he has he has no
does
guilt.
Not have this sense of like, oh my gosh, my God, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Well, on
so
the
sorry.
level-
I repent. You know,
Yeah.
there's none of that. This is a machine wrapped in meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The level below the fact that like the people who did that are in charge of our nation, it's that the prison just went along with. I mean, these aren't government employees. I think it was a private prison. You may fact check me on that. But they just went along. Like they were told, we're going to kill this guy. You need to have the guard go. You need to have his cellmate go. Put the cameras down, and just went along with it.
Yeah. Well, you want to get into conspiracy? It's like Trump got shot in the head,
Yeah.
and the FBI was like, "Oh well, oops,
Yes.
we made a mistake."
Yeah. He almost got shot 3 times.
Yeah.
The first time, that's insane. I mean, just the fact that he moved his head like last quarter second and it still caught some.
So insane.
Ghislaine. I don't think that's her name. Ghislaine. How do you
It
say
may as well be.
How do you say? I wasn't even trying to make
how
a
to
joke.
pronounce her name. That is like another deep level of conspiracy where it's like,
Yeah.
they're rubbing it in your
Yeah.
face at that point.
I think it's
You know what I mean?
Ghislaine. Do you know how to say it? Ghislaine. Apparently
It's
she's.
spelled like one of those names where you think it could be Ghislaine.
Oh, I think it might
You
be
know what I
Ghislaine.
mean? Ghislaine.
I think it might be.
A fancy
Well, while
rich
you look
person
that up-
name with like a bunch of extra
Apparently
letters in it.
she. I mean, they couldn't kill her. She's in prison. They can't kill her.
She's in prison?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They can't kill her because, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it was obvious that they killed Epstein. May as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 95% of America believes that Epstein did not kill himself. And so just kill her, you know. We get it. You're
Maybe
just killing
she got
people.
one of them dead man switches in order once she saw what happened to
Well,
her
she
beloved.
apparently she's in like some really high society prison where it's like not prison at all. And
like those Swedish prisons or
Yeah,
something where it's
I'm
like,
sure
oh yeah, you have video games.
they just went to
and
the other extreme. The
an
first
oven
extreme
and-
was this guy's we're going to murder this guy.
Yeah.
The second extreme is like, well, to keep her silence, we're going to put her in such a nice spot. It's like, why didn't you just ask
What if it's
Jeff
like
if he wanted his silence for a nice prison experience?
You know what? It could have been like kind of one of them Nixon things where it's like, well, we shot the last guy, so if we
Yeah.
shoot this guy too,
Yeah.
then it
You know
kinda-
about the Nixon Watergate thing?
I haven't looked into it deeply,
It's
but
like,
I know it's a
just
tool
not-
used for people to go, oh, it's similar to the Russia thing, except he actually did something.
it was just all a setup. He didn't do anything. I'm not super
Well, I
educated,
think
but
I
that's the
think
beauty
there
of
was a recording
conspiracy
where
theories.
he did. I'm pretty sure there was like a recording or something where he was like, okay, can we pay the Deep Throat guy to just keep it under wraps
Yeah.
or whatever?
So what I had heard,
it was complicit in the sense where it's like, I don't want this to be a big scandal that gets in the way of
Yeah.
everything.
yeah.
But of course it was, you know.
So they broke into Watergate. What building did they break into to steal it? It wasn't Water.
I
It's
think
Water
that-
something.
No, I think that is the.
Is it Watergate? They
No,
broke
it
in.
can't be.
They
Can
broke
it?
in twice.
I'm pretty sure the building is Watergate.
Watergate office building.
Yeah,
Okay. They broke in twice. Look this up. The first time, so it was people.
Didn't
what I
they
had
make
heard.
they made a Woody Harrelson show too. I didn't watch it, but I only assumed that it's a show about how bad Watergate actually was. Also, Woody Harrelson's dad was in the CIA. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I did know that.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So what I had, Woody Harrelson, Justin Theroux.
We should only talk about conspiracy stuff like this, though, where kind of like a lot of people are already keyed into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I had heard was it was like a setup to get Nixon out of office. So they went, the people that weren't working for him, but like trying to frame him basically, went and tried to rob the place the first time, the first night, and got away with it. They had like told the front security person that they were once again it's just beautiful conspiracy talk now.
It's conjecture.
Yeah. They had like told the security guard that they were like going to rob it or whatever. He was just like an idiot, didn't call the police. And they got away with it. And they're like, oh shoot, we have to go back again. Because the whole setup was like that the police will be called. And
You're saying they did it a second time
They
to
did.
get caught?
Yes. 100%. Look it up. It's yeah, I don't know what you would Google. Watergate, 2 robbings or something. I don't know.
No, we are gonna have to get guests on because we do kind of agree on a lot of stuff. You know, we
Yeah,
need
that's
some
true.
pushback because I was just thinking with that example you brought up of like, well, if they did just get away with a crime like that blatantly the first time, it makes sense that the Watergate office building and their staff itself would not want that information to get out. But then I have this idea where this is where it gets tricky. You know this guy that everybody says is the best comic ever, George Carlin?
Yeah.
Do you like George Carlin?
I actually haven't heard any George Carlin.
You should look him up because
Just
it's
too
one of-
old. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure he's great, but like at some point you listen to people because you like to relate to them.
Right.
And
Right,
listening
right,
to a
right.
guy from the whatever 60s is just
Well, you say that, but weirdly, people don't really change that much. It's just that we don't live long enough or are tuned in long enough because, you're you're tuned in when you're young. You're trying to find yourself, figure out what it is. And then you get bogged down by just your regular life stuff, your long-term, okay, in 30 years, this is where we want to end up kind of thing. And you kind of get, in the day-to-day, you get swamped with that. And so a bunch of stuff can kind of go by you. But really, people really don't change all that much. I mean, you can read a book from a novelist where he actually wrote honestly from 300 years ago, and you go, oh, that's my aunt.
Yeah.
That character. You know what I mean? Like, people don't really change all that much. It's just cyclical. But George Carlin, he had this thing one time when he was doing a kind of like a back and forth thing on CNN and was talking about, I mean, back in like the 70s or something, or 80s, he's talking about how, you know, the people that basically America is not what the idea of America is in practicality. He had this famous bit where it's something like, you get to pick from 2 presidents, but you have 32 flavors at Baskin-Robbins or whatever, this kind of thing. You have the illusion of choice, this idea. And he was on CNN this one time, and he's like debating this, like, whatever, a guy that works for that kind of institution in the media. And so he's getting all this pushback about, like, yeah, but how could so many, I mean, you look at people that are in charge, how many different departments there are, how many different divisions of power there are in our system. How could you have, you know, kind of like how most people argue against the flat earth thing, where they go, how could you have 80,000 different space program employees across the globe in all these different countries all going with the same idea, and not one whistleblower or person that just accidentally lets it out, you know, which is a fair argument. I mean, it's kind of like a reverse call to authority or something weirdly, but it's a fair argument. It makes sense. And his response to that was basically that you don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. So if you say all these people, they're just in it for money and power, and they sell out the American people as sort of the engine that produces this for them.
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
As the Inuit that produces this for them.
Thank you.
Then you don't need them having a secret meeting where everybody's going like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because they're all after the same stuff. So I scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of thing. And I think that's really true. Now, what if you take that a layer deeper, where it's a spiritual thing?
Okay, I'm listening.
So, you know, you're Christian.
Yeah.
I'm kind of Christian in some sense. And in the Bible, the good book, it teaches, you know, that we wrestle not. Is this
flesh
Paul?
and blood?
It's Paul, right? You know, it doesn't matter, actually. It could have been an Old Testament thing.
I don't think it was Old
It's like
Testament.
a kind of wisdom to it. Anyway.
No, I think it was. It was new.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood,
Yeah.
against powers and principalities, and something else in high places, something like this.
Ask Josh
So powers and
about
principalities.
what verses we wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Not verse, just Old Testament or New Testament. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities.
That's new. That's what I thought it was.
Is it
Jesus.
Jesus?
I thought
Really?
it was.
Oh, I thought it was.
I wasn't
Paul
gonna
at
say that
first,
and be
but
wrong.
then I thought it could have been like David or Solomon or something like that.
What do we have a producer for?
We wrestle not with flesh and
No,
blood.
we do wrestle with the
This is the idea. You know what? Very well.
You're right, it's Paul. It's Ephesians.
Okay,
Oh.
that makes sense. It is very much in the Jesus vein of
Yeah.
sort of non-violence and rising above, you know,
Yeah.
the carnal.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, so if you take this kind of idea where it's like, well, what does that really mean? It's like, well, it's basically saying you don't shoot your enemy in the head, you win the argument. Kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I can see what you're saying.
Like there are these things that operate independently of human beings that operate through human beings in order to actualize. Okay. Now, if you kind of merge, which this is what I do, maybe it's wrong. Maybe somebody can point out how it's wrong. But if you kind of merge these two ways of thinking about it, then you go, well, yeah, you don't need a bunch of people in power to all formally be like, yes, we're going to shake hands and worship Malik, the owl god, and suck each other's dicks and bite them and
Okay, so
spit
now
blood
we're
in
getting
each other's
to
mouths and whatever.
what is that? Bohemian Grove.
I would say the Epstein deep cuts. We'll put it that way.
You know
okay?
about Bohemian?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Come on. Bro.
All
Of
right.
course.
I'm
You know
sorry.
what bohemian means?
It is what a lot of liberal women like to say their style is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Could you look up bohemian just real quick, and then we'll put a pin in this and stop?
My system is completely bricked. That's also why we need to take a break, is so I can fix it. It's frozen on this.
Okay.
I see. This is still working, though.
Yes.
Bohemian Grove coming up next.
All right.
Stay on the edge of your
Keep
seat.
it on. Keep it on. So
Yes.
we're talking about no need for formal conspiracy.
Yeah.
Powers and principalities.
Yeah.
What does bohemian mean?
Yeah. And then we can slide it into Bohemian Grove.
We can if you want. Yeah.
No. All right.
All right.
We'll be back.
We'll be. Can you sing a little song?
I was
with me?
gonna. Can you give me?
No, I can't do anything right now. That way.
We'll be right back.
Dum dum.
Thank you.
Very good. Oh shit! They ain't ready for this one, boy. What happens if the master's asked to bring rap back? What a disaster if that's what the track lacks. Well, there you have it. See the bag and grab it. These rappers fucking and sucking like rabbits. Use precision to make incisions. Guess the P in Diddy stands for prison. I know you're thinking, who are you to say? But tell me, how do you account for all the booty play? Booty play, booty play, booty play, booty play, booty play. Suck a lemon, Eminem. If you got fucked up the butt by Satan, don't you feel so empty now? Kiss the thorns on his horn. Pull your soul out through your back.